Should we get going?
Yeah, I think so. We kind of have a third eye, so we can look into the future.
Yeah, exactly. I like this idea. Yeah. Okay, so let's start with the Best Picture nomination. And the first film in this, it goes alphabetically as it's released.
Okay.
So the first film is Black Panther, a film that we discussed last time as well. Wakanda forever! Yeah. So you've seen that. Obviously, most people have by now. It's been out for quite a while now. Interestingly, it's the first superhero that's ever been nominated for a Best Picture.
Huh.
Not even The Dark Knight got that.
Oh.
And you would think it would, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I would have thought that.
So Heath Ledger won the Best Actor, and it got nominated in numerous other categories, such as cinematography, things like that, but not Best Picture. So this is the first ever superhero film to be nominated, which is huge.
And I think for the Oscars, that's a big step.
Yeah, and so it's not just a big for black film; it's also big for superhero film.
Yeah, for the genre itself. Yeah.
Wow. So as we know, it's about King T'Challa, and he's defending Wakanda against external foes. Lots of beautiful special effects, good engaging story. Interestingly as well, I didn't really tout it to even get nominated. Like, not many people thought it would necessarily. It was a bit of a surprise one, because it's it's a superhero film.
But given the amount of wave
praise
costs and all that stuff. I think Black Panther, like I said last time, was a hit back to back.
Yeah.
It was a hit, and the whole wave it caused in the whole industry.
Yeah.
So maybe they have their own reasons why.
I think that is definitely a deciding factor, isn't it?
Black Panther wins though. That's just me.
Well, yeah, no, I'd like to. So, what it did win was the Critics' Choice Award for Best Picture.
Oh, yeah.
Which was quite a surprise that it won. And he gave quite an impassioned speech, the main actor, and about, how important it was and things like that. So, I think there is a little bit of, white people pandering to this, maybe, because they do love to do that, the Oscars. They're like, it helps us to release our white guilt, basically, when we nominate and give it to things like that.
Right. I like I always say, I just think that, look, just give it to the best film that I think is suitable for it.
There shouldn't be any of that politics shit, but obviously there is.
But given the world that we live in, such politics exist, and, we have to, confront it and live with it.
Well, an example that I found interesting as well was a couple of years ago when Best Film was won by Moonlight and not La La Land, which almost everyone thought was going to win. And it was given to Moonlight instead, which was an interesting choice. But again, okay.
But also, with all these movies, most of them, they literally, the movies that win, they always have the backing of the big studios. So I personally think there is.
Yeah, Moonlight was quite a small independent film though, so it was nice to see something like that win.
Well, it was distributed by a studio, right?
Yeah, but it was it was a small budget and quite an art house film, I think. So not necessarily one to.
Well, it's good. It's good that the good movies are getting recognition, and I think for the Black Panther and the other movies. Let's see how it turns out.
And so if it does win, it would be a big step.
Black Panther win.
Yeah.
Wakanda.
So the thing is, I personally don't think it's going to win. It was a surprise to be nominated, and it would be unlikely. So I'm going to give each of the films a star rating out of 5 to sort of decide what I think their chances are. Obviously, 5 out of 5 would mean I think it's going to win. 1 out of 5, very long shot. So for Black Panther, I'm going to go with a 3 out of 5 star.
Right.
So it's not a favourite. I think it's going to be an outside contender. I think it's going to win maybe a couple of Academy Awards, but I do doubt it if it would win Best Picture.
Let's see how it goes.
Yeah, let's see. It might surprise us.
Excluding our wishes and whatnot.
Yeah, and
let's just see which best movie makes it out there, and then we'll be here to give a review about that.
Post Oscars review. So moving on to the next film in our category, another one which we've talked about because it covers sort of similar ground, which is Black Klansman. Again, quite a important black film, discussing how a black guy infiltrated the KKK and managed to sort of help to bring them down a little bit. Based on a true story. Spike Lee directed it, of course.
Yes, Spike Lee directed it.
Interesting thing about this, again, this is Spike Lee's first Oscar nomination for any of his films, which is crazy if you think about it.
It's really weird.
Yeah. Let's see this. We've got Malcolm X. We've got Do the Right Thing. Inside Man.
What's that thing they say? The industry would always be.
They're racist.
Right, I mean,
but they're less racist now, and they're saying, look at how unracist we are. We've got 2 black mainstream films. Times are changing, though, aren't they? I mean,
where I come from, shit, like the black guys are there, like. The movies you wake up and watch is black, it's owned by black, run by black.
Oh, fair enough.
So,
Well, where I come from, not so much, yeah. I live in La La Land, so...
yeah, there's a different reality. But, I mean, irrespective...
Nice to see them, merging.
Yeah, I mean, it's good. It's good to have them, merge. I mean, with the amount of money they make in Africa in cinema, I think, we should hold them accountable for the nominations. But back to, I think everyone has been saying this, like Spike Lee should have gotten something like long ago.
Yeah,
I mean he's done a lot for the industry. He's brought up new talent. He's even made a lot of classic movies, and still they don't recognize him. But now they are. So maybe finally his dues is being paid. So maybe
and he does a lot. He's often a very outspoken about black film. He often makes points in his movies about the racism in the industry, especially Do the Right Thing.
I mean, like his first movie, he raised the capital himself.
Yeah.
So I mean, he's always been a go-getter, and I think with Spike Lee, given the area, or should I say the country where he's based, is primarily based, such things, he must bring awareness to them. But I think the movie did justice in exposing, in bringing this to light, because lots of people were not aware of this. Like,
I didn't know that.
So
it's an interesting story.
Is really good. So
I thought it was one of his best films in years, actually, since Inside Man, maybe. I thought it was really good.
Some people would disagree with that, but
yeah, maybe.
Everyone to their own,
But will it win the Oscar? That's the question.
That's it.
So in a star rating, I'm going to give it a 2 out of 5. Yeah. I don't think they're going to give it to Black Klansman. I just don't see it. It's a good movie, certainly.
Put some sauce in it, man. Put some salt in it. Come on, it's Spike Lee. Give it some sauce.
I mean, imagine if his first nomination and then he wins. That would be also pretty exceptional.
That would be epic. That would be epic.
But come on, so you'd be happy with either Black Panther or Black Klansman to win, I imagine.
Okay, so I'm going to divide into 2 personality here, right? Okay. The other me is going to go for Black Panther, and this me is going to go for, Black Klansman. That's it. Yeah.
Well, it's pretty black either way. Alright, so going from black to white here.
Yeah.
The first film we're going to talk about is, I don't think there's one black character in the whole film, Bohemian Rhapsody. The new Bryan Singer film, the biop about Queen. I think we've pretty much all seen it. Did you see it?
No, I haven't seen it.
You haven't seen that one?
But I put his song on repeat. When the movie came out, because I literally like the Bohemian Rhapsody.
Is this just real life?
I love it. I love
fantastic song.
What's the one? We will rock you. Yeah, that I really love it, and I think I'm doing my time in film, my film research, and the way they did the music video with the crystal and all that. Yeah, I did love it. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's nice to see these songs again, and it reinvigorated my love of Queen.
Of Queen,
I've got to say that.
Me too. I mean, I think I had one a blast that one of the guys who came into the world was like, "What the heck is this?"
Yeah.
I'm like, "It's Queen."
Yeah. Yeah. What more do you need?
It's a great singer. Come on. They're like, okay.
But this is it's an interesting one. This it's been nominated in 5 different categories, so it's doing well. The film itself, it went through production hell getting made. First we had Sacha Baron Cohen was meant to play Freddie Mercury originally, the Borat guy. He left due to artistic differences with Brian May and the rest of Queen, who wanted Freddie to be portrayed in more of a honest or sort of PG, PC light. Yeah. He wanted to portray more, cocaine and homosexual sex parties. They weren't so keen on that idea.
Yeah, they
thought it would tarnish his memory.
Give a good legacy. But
then,
the guy who played it, and there was an interview, and he was talking about how he had to wear those braces. Exactly.
Give him those teeth.
Exactly, the state to make him, give the whole Queen effect. Exactly,
and then we had the firing of Bryan Singer, who was directing it, and then so there was it might not have even been released, so it was lucky to have even got, and it was generally released to quite mixed reviews from critics. They didn't really think much of it. However, users were way more favourable. They don't seem to care about any historical inaccuracies or the overall slightly PC, PG vibe. They really liked it. They really connected with it. This has been reflected in the box office. It grossed 800 million. Set the all-time box office record for the biop and drama genres.
Oh.
Huge. One of the biggest films, in that category. So massive.
Because one of the things I think we should also take a look at is that would lead to them winning something is because you have like 2 to 3 generations that have grown up listening to Queen.
Yeah,
exactly.
Right. So it's a nostalgia movie.
So exactly. Yeah.
So they don't care if it's not that great a movie. They just like to feel
it. They connect with it because they understand the story. Yeah. And I think even during the epidemic of what killed Queen, AIDS, that brought a lot of awareness to people. It kind of helped the whole pop culture. So which I think, it would add to the whole, the whole nomination on when lots of people are voting. I think that would sway them towards it. But let's see how it goes. Like I always say.
And I liked it more than I thought I would, to be honest, because when it got released to mixed reviews, I thought, it's not going to be very good. But no, it was perfectly enjoyable. It was pretty much what you thought would happen. It's just a straight up biop about Queen. The only thing you could say about it is it doesn't quite go deep enough into who Freddie Mercury was.
Well, maybe the next sequel might do that.
Maybe.
Hollywood tend to.
Spoiler alert, since he dies at the end of the first one.
Hey, man!
What, you thought you were just going to live forever?
Hey, okay. I'm going to watch it when it comes out on DVD.
Freddie Mercury died, right?
I know!
Sorry, I didn't spoil that for you, did I?
He's a spoiler, right?
So I wished it was a little more daring at times, maybe with the portrayal of him, but will it win? So I was surprised to see it getting nominated, considering the very mixed reviews. The Oscars clearly went with the fans on this one.
Of course they will.
Not the critics. And despite that, it also won the Golden Globe. It won the Golden Globe for Best Musical and Comedy. So that gave it quite a good chance here, the fact that it's already won quite a big award. However, I think the Golden Globe's a bit more theatrical, so that's why they liked the Queen biop. It's got the music and it's got all that. So whereas the Oscars are a bit more favourable on drama films, so I'd be really surprised if it wins the best film.
There is a possibility. So what are you going to rate this then?
I'm going to give this a 3 out of 5 star. I was going to knock it down to 2, but because it won the Golden Globe, I'm giving it another point for that.
So they've got the traffic now. So that traffic might lead them close.
And I think the Golden Globes are slightly more based on people. They like to go with the people. Oscars tend to be a bit more the critics. But we'll see. It might surprise me. I do think. Well, we'll talk about that in the Best Actor category. But I think it's got a much better chance in that. On to the 4th film. In the Best Picture category nomination. We're going to talk about The Favourite now. Did you see The Favourite?
No, but I saw the trailer, and I know about the story, I just haven't had time to go watch movies. Yeah.
Well, this is my job, don't worry.
I'm just a guest. A regular guest.
So it's a historical comedy drama about Queen Anne's supposed lesbian relationships with 2 different women. Again, quite a sort of controversial one. Based on a true story, we think. Anyway, some of it was true. Whether the Emma Stone character actually existed is tenuous, debatable. But we're pretty sure that Queen Anne did have a lesbian relationship with Lady Mountbatten, who's played by Rachel Weisz. So it was been very well received, this film. It's had a lot of good response, and it is a really good film.
The production value looks really good.
Yeah, it's fantastic. The cinematography is beautiful, and it's very daring. It's very sexual, but not a sexy film by any means. It's funny, it's dramatic, it's interesting. It's like a slightly different. It's nice to see a film do this when we've got so much generic stuff. So it's been nominated for 10 different nominations, which is the most, tied with Roma, the other film. Nominated for 10 different categories, so obviously it's been got a lot of praise. Imaginative, beautifully shot, and well acted.
The colours were superb.
So I think it's got a really good chance. I would say it's definitely a favourite to win.
He's rooting, right?
Yeah, nailed that.
He loves his history.
Yeah. So I'm actually going to give this a 5 out of 5 star rating as a possibility. I think it's going to be down to this or Roma, probably. It's going to be a close one.
Okay. Yeah.
We're going to take a little break now. Please join us after the break. Don't go away. Thanks.